Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And the 7th episode of Let's Talk. We have a special guest with us today.
I'm so excited!
The first official guest. She is here to help us talk to you guys about body shame, weight shame, fat shame, skinny shame, because it all exists. Where should we start?
I think we should start with LIZZO.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Don't be shy.
I think that I guess she's trying to like embrace like her body, accept herself for who she is naturally, like being unapologetic about it.
Right.
However, there's like a double standard. It's like if somebody who was, on the skinnier side were to do and like take pictures like she's doing and everything, like they get called a hoe.
Right.
They get all this backlash, all this negativity. And if you go against what she's doing and have your own opinion about her, walking around with her butt cheeks cut out, you're fat shaming.
Yeah. It's not because she's fat.
Mm-mm.
It's just there's not enough of like a style.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how can I be the most provocative, and that never works. Whether you're a size 2 or a size 22,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look good.
Right. It doesn't.
And if she's not honoring herself, I feel like, or her body, by just having everything out there. Because I mean, in reality, Lizzo's not even that big. What is she like? I would say what, 14, 16? She's a
not-
curvy girl.
yeah,
She's
curvy.
not. There's definitely. I've seen models that are bigger in size, curvier, and they wear things that flatter their bodies. They might wear bathing
Things
suits.
that fit.
Yeah, things that fit. That's
what's
really what
important.
you fit, and not even just fit size, but fit you as a person. Like
Yeah.
it can't be comfortable to walk around with a t-shirt with 2 holes cut out for your butt cheeks.
And sitting on public seating.
Public seating. This is what gets me the most.
The biggest part of it all.
It's like sitting on like a public toilet,
Mm-hmm.
but intentionally.
Yeah, just because you want to make a statement or cause some sort of controversy or whatever the case may be, but it's just like, I don't know. And it's not even just for Lizzo, it's for everybody. Like, I would literally see girls who are a bit bigger trying to wear like crop tops and things like that. And I'm like, I feel like there are crop tops.
Wait, sorry. It's just so funny to me because I say this all the time, and I'm like, I thought we were gonna have different opinions about Lizzo, so I was like trying to like censor myself. But now that I realize, I think most women feel that way because most women are not going to go out whatever size and not feel comfortable and safe. If I'm going out with my butt exposed, or if I'm going out to start immediately twerking, I'm almost looking for a confrontation.
Yeah, some sort of backlash.
And I'm not trying to say like it's blame the victim, so to speak. I feel like if you're trying to show off your body, you're proud, that's one thing, but there is a level of, I think, collective decorum that we have to have. Otherwise, we're just swapping butt cheeks everywhere.
On seats.
That's gross.
I don't want to do
With the whole Lizzo thing, what really got to me about that is the fact that people turned it into a bigger girl versus skinny girl.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't care what you wear. I don't. You're not bothering me up until it gets to the point of you skinny hoes could never, and you should worship her because she did this and she's confident. Oh, if a skinny girl wore this, nobody would say anything. First of all, that's a damn lie.
Yes.
If
I
a
don't care
skinny
that
girl
she
wore it, I just don't like how there's this tension and how you can attack my size 2, but I can't attack your size 32. That's not a thing. And people will say things like, oh, well, bigger girls have had it harder in the media over the years. That is true, but also so have skinnier women.
Right.
And I think that needs to be addressed. And if you really want to be the type of person who's all about body consciousness and things like that, you can't be for one and not for the other.
They can both be as equally as bad.
And there is no perfect body. When you Stop telling bigger women that they need to be skinnier in order to be perfect, and stop listening to people who tell you that, because if you're confident in yourself, you should be fine. Stop telling skinny girls that they need to gain weight and do this, that, and the third in order for them to be accepted by you, because it's not about you.
Right.
It's really
some
really
non-existent
about you.
standard.
Exactly.
And it says a lot about you too, because you tend to follow what the media says is beautiful. You can't just look at somebody and see their personality or even just their face, as shallow as that sounds. You like to follow what it is that is instilled through social media,
Like
through
guys
TV,
having
conditioning.
a secret obsession with BBW. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, they'll be like, oh, they secretly like big girls, but they won't want to be seen with a big girl.
Yeah.
Well, did you see there's like a new show about the guys that have, I guess they're considered like supersized BBW partner. The fact that this is a label is bothersome to me, okay? Like, the fact that, you know, we have just been so reduced to like, what's your label? Either you're like you're a teenager,
true.
or you're, you know, skinny with a bubble butt, or
Slim
you're
thick.
BBW.
Yeah,
What are
abbreviation.
you? So it's just this TV show. I saw a promo clip for it, and it's these guys that are, I guess, they're straight size guys, but their wives or girlfriends are like extreme plus size, I guess would be the term. And they talk about their struggles that they have in their life, because a lot of times on both sides, the partner's family members might be like, what are you doing with this person?
Yeah.
She's not healthy. And they love it. But I also feel like, are they fetishizing that? You know, is it, you know, when you met, was that what attracted you? Not to say that that's not attractive, it's just that if that's what you like, you have to kind of unpack it.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, don't try
Because
to
it
keep
is
hidden.
risky. Like,
Yeah.
it's I don't care what anybody says. Like, I definitely feel like this is men have done this to us. They have done this to us.
It is their fault.
You know?
It's all the men's fault, for real.
They
Because,
put
like,
these labels on. And even with Lizzo, like, I don't really feel like when Lizzo first came out, I don't feel like it was a big deal that she was the size she was.
No.
Like, I think back to like Missy Elliott,
Yeah.
and I don't remember being like, oh, you know, and she's like plus size or whatever. It was just Missy was Missy.
Yeah.
Missy never
Missy
came
was-
out and said anything about that. And she's such like a good example for, I think, for any female artist nowadays, but just for someone, Queen Latifah.
Yeah, true.
You know, it was a non-issue. You know, it just wasn't a big
like
deal.
back then it wasn't a big, people weren't talking about size really. Not that I remember either. Because even like some of the prettiest people that people claim, like Halle Berry or like Aaliyah, they were slim,
Super
like really
slim, yeah.
And nobody said, oh, they don't have no ass, so they're not attractive.
Exactly,
They don't have big
exactly.
boobs, so they're not attractive. So
Yeah, it's definitely come down to, maybe it is because more like social media, but I was actually just seeing a headline the other day about chubby hands. There's a
there is
there's
Oh
a chubby
my
hand
gosh.
movement, and basically what it is, it's, I know I'm like, what? It's on Instagram. It's women that feel left out because when they shop for rings or jewelry or bracelets, they feel like the jewelry doesn't look the same on them because their fingers might be chubbier or their wrists might be chubbier than a straight size person. So someone created a page dedicated to, you know, women that don't feel kind of like represented, showing chubby hands, chubby fingers, things like that. I'm pretty sure this is where I draw the line. This is where I get off. Because I can't rock with you. Like, what are you really worried about?
No, seriously,
We might be
why?
going to war.
Why?
People
Yeah,
are
there are
dying.
things happening.
And you're worried about your hands?
Because somebody else doesn't like that.
Seeing your hands represented in a magazine ad that's not even real?
Yeah, none of
It's
that's
not
real.
real.
No, seriously, like
None of
Photoshop
that.
and everything can change. That person can actually have chubby hands anyway.
Exactly.
Who's
Exactly.
airbrushing the hand?
Somebody else with chubby
And if
hands.
I need to see a chubby hand to make myself feel better or feel less chubby or okay with being chubby or whatever it is, it's time to really
Reevaluate.
step back and just take a good hard look at, if I'm focusing on my hands, what in my life is really bothering you?
What?
It can't be your
It's
hands.
deep rooted somewhere
Some people
else.
have no arms.
Yeah,
It's the
seriously.
social media
You know,
stuff. I'm
Like,
telling
and
you.
they don't have to be represented in a magazine.
Absolutely not. To know that they're there.
It's
you
the
know?
social media stuff. It literally, the things that you see on social media, be it women, men, whatever, these lifestyles that they're living, people, it makes you nitpick at your own life.
Yeah.
When you know nothing about what's going on behind the scenes. Right.
No, seriously, because
I
it's
would
not
agree
like
with that.
it started with us. I think it's more of like a society thing and like
Yeah.
a social media thing. They made it like, oh, this is beautiful and this is acceptable, and then so you kind of like they retaliate to us and what we're doing and how we're acting. It's like I don't have a problem with you and your size. I'm glad that you feel comfortable in your body, in your skin, and everything. Don't try to come at me though like me, I don't eat enough, or I'm not healthy. Like your big weight guarantees you being healthy, when in a lot of ways it's kind of unhealthy.
Right.
Yes.
Because telling
I've just
somebody,
been like holding that in too.
bro, telling somebody that they need to eat is just as bad as telling somebody that they should stop eating.
Exactly.
I don't. People
Right.
walk around freely, and I'm not a victim, but I have received this on multiple occasions, and it's highly
All her
irritating.
life.
Highly irritating. It did. I didn't ask you. I'm not looking for a health consultation. You know, bootleg on the side of the street from so and so. If I'm skinny, I'm skinny. If you don't like it, you really don't have to interact with me. But don't offer advice that I'm not asking for,
Right.
especially when it comes to my weight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay. Are you okay? What if I
So
were
true.
to say that to you?
Right. And women as a whole, we have it so much harder than men. But I also feel like black women too, we're constantly being like, almost like canceled out by our body parts. Like Michelle Obama's arms or her legs, Lizzo's whatever, you know, Beyonce's butt. Like every piece of us has to be like analyzed. And if one part doesn't fit into the mold, I guess that society's given to us, you know, it's kind of like, well, what's wrong with you? You need to eat something, you need to lose weight, you need to fit into that mold that's been created.
Like you're supposed, like black people think that all black women are supposed to have big asses or whatever. So like when you go to places like, I lived in the South for a while and I would constantly get told like, you're so skinny and you're so this and you don't got no ass. And I'm like, okay, but I still have a pretty face. And, like,
I don't have a butt for real.
I don't really know what you want me to tell you. These are all things that I don't have no control
because we're all
over.
different.
Yeah.
We're all different. And you just can't paint just an entire ethnic group into a corner and be like, okay, you gotta be a size 6, you gotta have this size boobs, this size butt, this size everything.
This size hips.
Yeah, and it takes away from the actual conversation, which should be about Lizzo's music, her message, what she's talking about, what she's singing about, the instrument she plays, all this stuff gets overshadowed because, I mean, a lot of it is because of what she's done, you know, consciously to almost take the attention away from her talent. And maybe that is something to be said in of itself, like their insecurities can come in a lot of different ways. You might be confident in your talent, but insecure about another part of you, maybe how you look or your appearance, and then you figure, okay, well, if I show it doesn't bother me, it'll prove to people that doesn't bother me. In reality, it just, at least in my case, sometimes it makes you look weaker than you actually are because
I'm big and beautiful.
Yeah, and it's like, well, we knew that.
Yeah.
You know, we've given you have that.
No,
we don't
like,
take that away from you.
What's her name?
You know?
Monique. She always used to talk about like being big and beautiful, and she's a big fat girl with a PH, and blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden now she's like super into working out and like staying healthy and like getting her body, like she's lost a lot of weight and she's like a lot slimmer. And it's like, okay, so all of that stuff about, you know, like being fat and skinny hoes can never. I mean, was that a real thing? Were you being true to yourself, or were you just doing it to
cope?
Yeah.
Doing it to cope. I think that's definitely a big coping mechanism, especially for someone that's having like weight struggles. It's like you just have to fall into it and just accept yourself. But sometimes even with that acceptance, you might have to accept that, yeah, you have, you know, pre-diabetic conditions, or you have high blood pressure, or you're putting yourself at risk. So if you want to accept being big and beautiful, that's all fine and good, but also you have to take responsibility for what might come with it. Just like girls that starve themselves have to take responsibility for the brain damage they incur from anorexia and bulimia.
The way
and
they
recovering
damage
from that.
Their internal organs and everything.
Even for plus size women on social media, I mean, they're getting paid too for whatever fetishes that need to come from getting some man off. And I think it's sending the wrong message to young girls that are plus sized or having weight struggles or just literally going through puberty where you just don't know how your body's going to end up.
Right.
You know, you just don't know. And they see curvy women almost kind of, I feel like either the media or social media is turning plus size women into almost like this bully antagonistic kind of vibe, where it's like they almost are on the defensive about everything.
Yeah, they really
if
are.
they're not represented immediately in the positive light, which almost makes it more negative because they're always pointing out, well, I mean, I guess even as black women, we do it too. You know, like, where are the black models? Where are they? You know, seriously, where are the black models on the runway? There's nobody. And so then, you know, they just slap the label angry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not angry. I'm frustrated. You know, so I can see how, you know, curvier women can be frustrated because, you know, you don't have my size or something like that. You don't have my shade. It's like, what are you gonna do?
No, seriously.
There's money to be made. I don't have a color that matches.
Money to be made and booty cheeks to be exposed.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But we did a good little segment on this. We did want to get our feelings out. We kind of like came up with some thoughts and of course wanted to share with you guys. Let them cheeks show.
Let them cheeks be free. Fine, all right, fine. We surrender.
Fine.
Clap it up. Clap it up.
We do have a treat for you guys.
Yay!
Yes.
Okay, I'll be right back. Cookies, ladies. So I know y'all had cookies before, but these are like the actual recipe.
Yeah. Okay.
They're pretty thick.
They are.
And
Hopefully
there's a lot
this
of
goes to my
chocolate.
gut so I can give you some ass.
I like them.
I'm happy cookie too. Why not?
So good.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it because she just made quesadillas. And I ate a lot of
We came
them.
over eating so good.
And salad.
Girls gotta eat.
Yeah, go pantry. I'm too skinny.
What did you say?
I'm too skinny. I tell them, I'm like, I eat just as much as you and the rest of the hippos when it's feeding time at the zoo at your exhibit.
Please.
Do not talk to me like that about my weight. I am okay. I get comments on the internet. There's a comment on this video that my sister and I did. This guy was like, God, feed that skinny bitch something. I'm like,
Are you kidding me? Let me tell you something.
I am.
You can never be too rich or too thin. First of all. Second of all, people would kill to have your body.
No, seriously.
But first
My
thing I was like, oh my
flattest
God.
stomach
I was
ever.
like, she's a model.
Always flat. Always.
I love it. I love it.
But you guys know what to do. Definitely leave your opinions in the comments. Like and subscribe and share.
If you
Do
want
tap
cookies,
in.
CRUMBSYcookie.com. All kind of cookies. Chocolate chip,
CRUMBSYcookie.com.
peanut butter.
She'll put that
Chocolate with
in
peanut butter.
the
Peanut butter and jelly.
comment
Yeah.
section.
I'll put it in the
Oatmeal.
comments below too as well.
Cookie cakes. Brownies.
The list goes on.
All of that.
Anything your heart desires. Brookies.
Sorry for smacking these. Yes, I do. We do it all.
All right, you guys.
That was
We'll see you guys later.
You next up, you next up, you next up, you next up, baby. There must be something